Tradespotting special here on the start of June 2022. We called this trade on AQST. Entry here about .5 Prices went up here. We call that 760% beat. Modest. 280% was the last time we looked at it. So lots of positive work on Tradespotting here. I got a fast request to look again at AQST, but I'm not sure where it is or where it came from, or maybe it was redacted. I can't find it. But though I know somebody mentioned it, so thanks very much for asking. If that was yourself, congratulations. What a fantastic trade. I hope you're a channel member or on the Patreon. So this is what it's been doing recently. This is quite an extended move here. I'd say that you have to be a little bit careful. It's still in the bullish control zone. I wouldn't argue with that. On daily time frame, that's quite significant there. Volume's been quite high. I'd say this breakout's potentially real. 50 simple, above the 200 period moving average, positive slope, positive splay, everything looking grand. Or is it? Down in the 4-hour time frame, looks like you're going to have to potentially come back and test this breakout zone. You don't have an impulse move here, but 200 period moving average and a touch of bearish divergence. Wouldn't necessarily go further than that, though that is a significant haircut. If it were to go there immediately from here, you'd be talking about 44% off. So would you want to give up that much percentage gains? I mean, that's about 0.5% off your position at that point. If you haven't yet taken profit, I'd suggest that the sensible area to do so would be if it drops back below a 236 at 4.45. It's already a percentage chunk I wouldn't like to give up. I'd probably have already taken it myself, but 21 simple breaks that, then you'll be heading towards this 236 and 50 simple, which point I'd be very careful if price action broke below, though there's very much a potential for bullish divergence. What I'd expect then is hourly time frame retracements, test of these important zones, and the next best entries on this guy being back towards $2. Back around $2, sir. Again, bearish divergence here, continuation divergence, top side move looks like it might keep pushing on the short term time frames. Nothing to really argue with there. Weekly time frame though, it's come up and it's tested this important macro resistance. See the amount of trades that were done in around this level throughout the lifetime of this thing, and then having reached back up to this level now, it's very likely that there's a lot of trades on the book, and people who bought it at any stage underneath now happy to add to the selling pressure at this level. So it's very much a different trader's entry at this place as it was on any of the price action in the lead up to it. So of course there's the potential for it to go on again. This thing's flying at the minute. It looks like it probably wants to try there. 30 minutes, 15 minutes time frame could pop again. I'd say you're at extremely strong levels of resistance on those higher time frames, up to the 4-hour again, pointing out that flashback down at 261. That's what we anticipate, a retest of that area between these two important levels of support and resistance, that being golden pocket and 886 from the breakdown. There isn't any particular formation to look to other than the resistance, the support and resistance at this area I'd put a lot of emphasis on. The fact that you'd be coming back into this zone, you'd be retracing back down between these important levels here and here in order to fill that flash without having escaped them, would suggest to me that there'd be a particular, there'd be a certain amount of time in this trade that you'd have to include as part of your opportunity cost. I don't think it would immediately bounce at that 261 and then you'd see it back up at $8 in less than, the same amount of time it took to fall down. I think that there's probably a period of sideways price action within this level of support and resistance for a while, and being that there's 40 to 50% of price there, I'd suggest that there'd be an awful lot of liquidity too, with people taking, buying and selling, and so this volume itself might not represent breakout volume, might instead be people taking profit. I know that it's been up here for a while, but it hasn't broken out. 15 minutes, again, that volume's not increasing. It does spike when price action reaches that level of resistance, and so that suggests profit taking to me. Volatility within that, I think the best part of the move is potentially this first or second leg trying harder on the third go. Potentially it is a failure. You can see that significant level of horizontal resistance, so I'd be careful there. And then AMD, we got a fax request from L. Baker Matthews. Look at that on a 15-minute time frame. Oh, very strong spike. You can see these sort of things potentially on AQSD that we just saw, and still see price action roll over. Now this is a 15-minute time frame, not particularly a good place to get all your information from. We'll start here on the weekly and point out AMD's really strong trend. Don't need that guy. Pardon me. Delete. Okay, so everybody and their granny knows how strong this sector is at the minute. Turn off the drawings. Weekly time frame. This is a very strong retracement here, holding the 236 of this guy. Boom. Higher high. Wouldn't worry too much about the divergence. You had continuation divergence on this most recent low. Recovered the 200 period moving average on the weekly. In an uptrend, that was only going to be a higher high. Down to the daily. Strong move. Lots of warning signs jumping out at you there. Strong move. Bearishly divergent. Knocked out of the bullish control zone. 236. Let's spread these candles out a little bit here. So that's, 2 bad days in a row there. Excuse me, candles, I'm trying to borrow you. Fatten you up a bit. Have double cheeseburger? Right, so, a little bit of a gap on price action. Previous low, now top side of that gap. Close that. Price action would then very quickly be testing its all-time high again. Just double triple check. Nothing on the weekly there that's too damaging. Daily time frame, you've got your gap, but below you've got strong levels where you could potentially face a retest. Now you've got your prior high from the previous formation in around 180. You've got the 236 about 184, and then the 21 exponential on daily time frame in around 189. So if this build trend is to continue, one of the things you'd want to see it touch would be find support at a 21 exponential on the daily time frame. And that comes in around 189. If that fails, this bullish oscillation might be in question below the 236, which is at 184. And if that fails, then this leg of the bullish trend would be in question because it's at the same level, around $180. So I'd be very much looking for this oscillation at the moment, despite the RSI hasn't yet managed to retrace back to the sort of level where you'd find lows within the formation here at the center line. So I think that that's very much on the cards for AMD. Come in and test the strength of the bullish trend with that sort of price action down towards 180. Maybe it stops around 190, very close to 200 at the minute, so that itself being a psychological level, pushed back above it, 10% extra, and then slips back down. So it's already in around psychological level, slipping below 200. Do people want to buy it now? Push it back up again. That'd be all she wrote. There's a gap to aim for, and that would be it continuing the uptrend. At that stage, you would be looking at Fibonacci extensions, and we've already got a previous target drawn out, which represents the liquidity from the move down below, and that might be looking at like rising triangle here with an increasing support level but a horizontal level resistance, and the breakout move at the end would be in at around 350. But that would be talking about a bullish move evolving from here. The gap to the top side gives you a target, but this most recent oscillation was bearishly divergent on the daily time frame, so it could well be that it needs to come back and test the 200 period moving average where you find the golden pocket retracement, and that might be where it's going then. If it doesn't manage to hold this first test of the bullish zone on this oscillation and continue the higher highs, then it'll be looking for a test of the higher lows. And any of these oscillations here come with tests of the center line on the RSI. Does that happen and catch price action before it manages to break the 236, or does it come back down into the bearish control zone and find support at 236? The golden pocket, very much likely here you're looking at the first pass of a 236 being a bounce, because it's a very, very bullish move. And so until such times as price action tells you otherwise, you're looking for continuation. Positive move then would be that higher target. It's extreme, but it's there. And if that fails, you've got your zone where that would be identified, so you don't need to risk a lot of money. And you've got the next best entry, which would be back around these areas on the daily. But down on the 4 hour time frame, You could obviously, I did briefly sketch something around that. You could draw this and look at more like a parallel channel, taking it along the bottom of price action here, also along the top. You get a number of touches. Although I've got quite a lot of drawings on here, so it does make it quite hard to see. Make this stand out a little bit. That didn't help much. Making this stand out a little bit more. And then even more, you can see that price action likely continues in this linear uptrend. So the fact that it's at the basis line now and on this 4-hour slip below 236, golden pocket, 200 period moving average coming at the basis line of this channel in around 180, 185, suggests, that daily time frame take from the beginning makes a lot of sense. So that's what we're looking at with AMD and AQST. Huge percentage moves that we've covered on the channel on this guy. Where was the first trade on this guy? Drew him out here. I'm sure we would have done. Anyway, there he is there. 20% move at that point. Then we've got these massive retracements. Don't know where the next entry was on this guy. Covered the AI on the 1st of January 2021. And this guy was near the top of the list. So you'd be talking about a move of, and that was an 86 retracement. That was 260 odd plus your 20. AQST, well, it speaks for itself right there. The 760%. Crazy. So what's Buy been up to? 5117. This is a similar. I sort of remember Tradespotting talking about this again. Here's also this channel, the basis line, same rules apply. 21 exponential on daily 4-hour time frame. In around the bottom side of this channel, find the 50 simple. 21 is at the basis line. Down at hourly. Still got this huge potential retracement on the go. Very much danger warning, but there's 200 period moving average at the bottom of that channel in the hourly. So compiler parallels there for you to work with. Hopefully it helps you with your SPY TA. Thanks very much for those fact requests, L. Baker. You're a genius and generous, brilliant, awesome, fantastic viewer. Thanks so much for watching. Thank you very much for the donation. Thank you for whoever it was. If it ever happened with AQST, it may well have been a dream. The stock moving the way that it did seems like a dream, but that's just Tradespotting. Dreamboat. So it's a dream. But hit that like button for your Dreamboat stock analysis. Analysis? That's what the work is. But we're all traders here. Thanks very much. Hit that like button if you want to support the show. Join an exclusive group of 14 people who've done it this year. And you'd mean a lot to me, because every little helps, and when there's very little, it means an awful lot. So thank you very much. Hit that like button. I've been Tradespotting. There's only one of me. A lot of wannabes. Remember, there's no rush. No help in rushing to be rich. Plenty of wealth and waiting to be right. I've been Tradespotting. This is where hopes and dreams meet ends and means.